Don't just listen to this for entertainment. Really write it down. You know, there's a study out there that says if you write something down, you're 7 times more likely to do it, or you're 7 times more likely to remember it. So just the act of writing this down makes you 7 times more likely to be confident. It's time to take action. It's time to go to the next step. You've listened through the truths of confidence, the confidence commands, the cycle of confidence, and you understand about the repetition, the circle, and the cycle that people get sucked into for both negative and positive. And you've gone through that. And I want to applaud you for that. It takes a lot to sit through a lot of these videos and really apply yourself and want to go to the next level. And now is the part where we really start peeling back the layers of the onion and figuring out what's been holding you back. So I would ask you, why are you trying to get your confidence to go to the next level? Why are you putting yourself out there and doing things that a lot of people aren't doing just so you can get the reward that they're not getting? Like, why are you doing this? Is it for your family? Is it for your kids? Is it for the life that you want? And remember, guys, for myself, 10, 15, 20 years ago, I literally was dreaming of the life I have now. And I can honestly tell you it's because I have had a growth mindset my entire life. A lot of you guys may not know this about me, but I was in every learning disability class coming up. I had ADD as a child. I could not focus on anything. I would see one thing, want to go there, want to do this, want to do that. I had severe learning disabilities. I had dyslexia. I still have that a little bit. And the only thing that pulled me through that is the growth mindset. So number one, I want to applaud you for making it this far, but don't give up now. Right now is the part where you really got to dig your heels in and go to the next level. Say, you know what? I'm going to finish this thing. I'm going to do this thing. We have to tie the end result that we're going to get when we get into the goal setting side to the reason why we're doing this. You know, when I was going through the project, that was the intense, special forces like Navy SEAL training that I was doing. It was hell. I'm not going to lie. I got knocked out once. I got choked out by the instructors once. We got froze in the ocean and did beach PT for hours and hours and hours. We slept almost none, pretty much. 4 hours and 3.5 days. We were constantly cold. We were constantly wet. We were constantly tired. Everything in our body hurt and we were bleeding. So just to put you in a scenario where I was at, but it was my reason why. It was the reason why I was going through all that got me through it. Had I not had a firm reason why I was doing it and the goal and the outcome that I wanted from it, I would have given up like a lot of other guys. I would have went up there, I would have rang the bell 3 times, I would have given up on myself, I would have given up on everybody that believed in me, and I would have walked away. So I applaud you, but what is your reason? What is your reason why for sticking with it? So what are the cyclical things that erode my confidence? I want you to think about that. What are the cyclical things? Now, we've talked about the circle of confidence, how there's these repeating patterns that show up, that steal our confidence from us, that rob our confidence. And the patterns work both ways. They could be a positive pattern or a negative pattern. The negative ones are the ones we really want to call out. What are the cyclical things that keep repeating over and over and over again in your life that are eroding your confidence? So you know all about the circle and how confidence is cyclical, but we have to now call out and break the negative patterns that keep showing up in your life. That's why I want you to write them down. And it might take you a minute or two to come up with them. It might take you a half a day. Heck, I don't know, but we have to call them out. What are the things that erode your confidence? So I went ahead and listed 3 that was part of the old Tyson. I am glad to say that at this point, these things are on lock, but the old Tyson, they weren't there. So I'm going to go ahead and list out the 3 things on my cyclical patterns that would erode my confidence in myself. The first thing, what would erode my confidence, was lack of sleep. For many years, I didn't have enough sleep. I would go to bed super late, wake up super early. I would hit snooze 15 times and barely roll out of bed, which caused the second thing that would erode my confidence, waking up late. Anytime we wake up late, we put ourselves in reaction mode instead of proaction mode. And I was the king of hitting snooze until the last minute and then to just like jump out of bed and like put my pants on, rush, do everything I had to do, rush to town and go to school. Like, there is not a person in the world that is a bigger king of snooze than Tyson Durfee, especially when he was younger. That would lead to procrastination in my life. So procrastination, not doing the thing you feel in your heart that you should be doing in any given moment. And I would procrastinate on things that I was unsure of. The things that I would procrastinate on were the detailed things, were the crossing the T's, the dotting the I's. Now, I can honestly tell you now, after many years at work, I am a very detail-oriented guy at this point. But back in the day, I would fall into procrastination. Anything new outside of my realm of norm, I would just procrastinate like all out. Those things for me really would erode my confidence. So think about your things that erode your confidence, and they would take away the belief that I could do something. So I had to work on those things. And one thing that you'll realize when you find these 3 things, you're going to work on them for the rest of your life. It's like they say, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, or once an addict, you're always an addict. Even if you don't do it anymore, even if you haven't done it for 5 years, 10 years or whatever, because it's your natural tendency, it would be very easy for you to fall back into that pattern. So for myself, I have to really watch it. I have to watch my daily life, my daily routines, so that I don't fall into these categories, okay? Again, old patterns will surface if you don't keep them pushed down. And how you keep them pushed down is through the circle of confidence, your belief system, your intention, your action, your results. That's how you keep that stuff. So think about those things, write them down. And remember that we just want to call these things out, because by calling them out, we take their power away. How many of you have ever admitted to something that you didn't want to admit to? Maybe you stole something as a child. Maybe you accidentally backed into a car and you had to tell your parents. I don't know what it is for you, but how many of you have actually had to admit to doing something you didn't want to admit to? And before you admitted, you held this guilt, you held this shame, you held this like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so bad. When they find out, it's going to be so terrible. You have all this nervousness, but then once you let it out, it's like, I did it. It's me. I apologize. Please forgive me. Then you can breathe and let it all go. That's why we're calling this stuff out. That's why we're doing the work and we're calling this stuff out, because through calling it out, it gives us our power back. And through calling it out, then we can make a plan to overcome it. My only goal for this video is to add value to your life. And guess what? If I add value to your life, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share this video. If you have a topic that you want me to cover another video on, leave it in the comments below. These videos are made to make you better. So I want to serve you at the highest level. On to the next question. What are the 3 things that I can do to break these cycles right now? For me, have a rock solid nighttime routine that allows me to go to bed close to or on time every single night, which will lead me into getting up in the morning, which was my second thing. But within that second thing, I would make sure that I've reviewed my schedule for the next day so that I have a reason pulling me out of bed. Before, when I was younger, I would hit snooze and snooze and snooze and snooze and snooze. It was caused by going to bed too late. It was caused by drinking too much coffee before bed. It was caused by screen sucking too much before bed, watching movies late at night, not doing things that would slow my mind down, like reading or praying or meditating or anything that would just slow me down. Now I can tell you that I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch a little bit here and there. I don't screen suck 24/7. I don't drink coffee past like 6 o'clock. So my mind begins winding down as I review my schedule for the next day, and then I'm prepped and ready for bed. And when I go to bed, I sleep great. Now, I'm like a lot of you folks out there now. I have 3 little kids, and they wake me up multiple times through the night. Right now at this point, I have a little baby, and he's up, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a night. My 2-year-old sleeps pretty good, but sometimes she's up once a night. And one of the things I used to do was make excuses. I'm tired. I need to sleep more. My kids wake me up all through the night, so I'm going to sleep in an extra hour or 2 hours. And I will tell you that planning on getting that extra rest if you've had a really hard night is okay. But you need to review your schedule the night before, because without knowing what you need to do the next morning, you're going to wake up too late in a reactive state. And if you start the day in a reactive state, it's going to crush the rest of your day. And I don't know about y'all, but procrastination is a dream killer. I would use things like, I'll wait till the time is right. I would say things to myself like, I'll wait till I have the perfect moment, then I'll go do that stuff. Well, I realized that there's never a perfect moment and the time is never right. That was just this perfection that I was looking for, is another form of procrastination. So with number 3 for myself, I realized that to live doesn't mean to truly be alive. And eternally waiting never got me anywhere. And that's what procrastination is. You convince yourself that you think you're doing right, and you come up with all these justifications, but you don't actually follow through it. And that erodes confidence. Because I know in my heart, what I'm doing now, I should have been doing a decade ago, but I didn't. I had a passion to help people. I had a passion to teach people. I had a passion to try to share my knowledge with the world, but I would use things like, I'm not old enough. Nobody's going to listen to me. What have I done? I'm too young to teach people about personal growth and personal development. So I was just robbing myself of the life that I wanted that made me feel alive. So those are my 3 things. But what are your 3 things that you can do to break those cycles now? The cyclical things that you keep falling into. It could be an addiction. It could be procrastination. It could be trying to find the right time, waiting for everything to be perfect. It could be oversleeping, caused by a bad nighttime routine and a bad morning routine. It could be all those things. But what are those 3 things for you? And what can you do to break those 3 things? Very important you do this. Don't just listen to this for entertainment. Really write it down. There's a study out there that says if you write something down, you're 7 times more likely to do it, or you're 7 times more likely to remember it. So just the act of writing this down makes you 7 times more likely to be confident. Now we're going to dig into a little bit of accountability. Who is that accountability partner for you? And don't just say Tyson. Who other than Tyson is your accountability partner? For me, it's my wife, Shay. She's my rock. She's, other than being saved and being a follower of Jesus Christ, she is the most important thing in my life. She is. I love her to death, and I know that she's always got my back, and she believes in me. So she is my accountability partner. She's the one that keeps me on the straight path. It says, hey, Tyson, I expect this out of you, and I know what you're capable of, so go do it. I believe in you. Go do it. So she is my accountability partner, and you have to find one too. You must find this accountability partner. Don't just brush this off. You must find this person. Hey, do me a favor. If you like this video, let's you and me make a deal. Let's shake hands. Yeah, that good, firm cowboy handshake. If you like this video, do me a favor. Share it with somebody. Subscribe to the channel. And my end of the bargain, I will bring you everything I know about being a high performer, a world champion, and an entrepreneur. If that sounds like a fair deal, go and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment too, because I'm going to answer every single comment that comes in on this video. Next, what tools have I put in place to keep me accountable for the next 30 days? Examples are reminders, planners, notes on the fridge, and etc. So the way we stay accountable is to keep us from going the wrong direction. So without the reminders, without the day planners, without the journals, without the accountability actual partner, you're just going to drift back into the old lifestyle. So by having these things set up, it keeps you on the straight and narrow. Every time you start to drift, it's a hurdle that you have to jump over, which steers you back right. Or it's a bumper. Think about this. I go bowling with my kids sometimes. When I go bowling with my kids, they roll the ball down the thing and the bumpers come up on both sides and the bowling ball just doing, 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 doing. And then finally it gets to the end. That's what doing all this stuff is going to be for you. It's going to be your bumpers so you don't get in the gutter. And finding that accountability partner is imperative. But another hurdle or another bumper is having these tools that most iPhones have, most calendars have. For myself, this is some things that I use every day. Every day I do a journal entry, how I'm feeling in the morning, what my goals are for the day. I talk about what I want to do, in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the lives I want to impact. I talk about my relationship with my wife, my kids. I talk about everything. I journal every single day. I journal. It's just a brain dump. It just, bleh, it dumps it out there. So I don't hold it inside. Plus it gets it on paper. And I know if it goes to paper, I'm 7 times more likely to be successful at it. So bam, I journal. I have a planner. So every day in my planner, I have the tasks that I want to get done. And most of the time, they're on the day before that I need to do something. So for example, I would have everything I need to do on the 1st, but it would be the last day of the month before that it goes on there. I review those the night before. And then next thing I do is I go and I look at my calendar. So my planner is kind of like my to-do list, but then my calendar is like saying, okay, this amount of time is allotted for this amount of time is allotted for this. You know, we got roping slots, we got working out slots, we got phone call slots, we got live conference call slots. We have slots for my No Limits mentorship program. So all of it's laid out, and my calendar pings me and dings me 10 minutes before I have to go to the next thing. If I don't go to the next thing, I get off track. I'm constantly being reminded by my calendar, by my day planner, by my journal, what my purpose is, what my passion is, and it allows my vision for my life to be very clear. I don't have such a foggy vision. Most people are walking generalities and they don't get strategic as to what they want. And they think, well, someday I'm going to be a world champion, or someday I'm going to make the finals, or someday I'm going to do this, or someday. Don't say someday. Say today, I'm going to get clear and I'm going to get after it. Today is the day that you reclaim the destiny that you should have had. And you have to get clear. You have to have a clear vision. So those are some things that I use. And these tools are so cheap. You know, I have a Google Calendar, which gives me my Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, gives me all these amazing tools that I can have to live my life more productively, more efficiently, and to keep me on track. My planner, I bought one today for $9.99 on Amazon. Cheap. My journal, like, it's a spiral notebook. It's like $2. Some pencils to write it all out, another couple bucks. Well, looky there. For probably under $20, I have a clear vision for my life and what I want to do. And you can too. So what things are you putting in your life? What tools are you using in your life to stay on track, to get the confidence that you want? All right, so we're nearing the end of this, but here is the part where we define our goals, the things that we really, really, really want. This is very important. If you do not come back to this, you're missing out on a ton. Have a clear vision for what your 30-day goal is, or goals are. It could be pertaining just to confidence. What's my confidence goals for the next 30 days? Or it could be something else. For myself, my 30-day goals were to overcome those 3 things that were holding me back. Lack of sleep, not going to bed early enough, poor quality of sleep, lack of sleep, not waking up on time, hitting snooze 15 times, and procrastination. These 3 things, I just wrote them down as if I'm going through them now, but I want to get crystal clear as to what I want so that I have a target to shoot for. And in 30 days of executing my plan to be successful, which is our intention side of the cycle of confidence, executing on intention, then we're going to hit our goal. We're just going to hit our goal. And so many people fall short of this because they just don't do this work. They don't do this work on themselves. The people that do this kind of work on themselves, that are strategic and planned, they get the job done. Okay. So I'm going to share with you my 30-day goals as if I just wrote them out today. So what is the exact result you want to see at the end of 30 days? For example, I want to be going to bed close to the same time every night. And if I don't, I want to have a clear plan as to how I will get back on track. The reason I wrote that out was I rodeo, I travel, I'm gone. Some nights I'm home at 1 a.m. Some nights I'm home, at 4 a.m. I drive all night, which is terrible. And some of you guys can relate to that. But there are other nights, most of the nights a week, I can go to bed at the time that I want. So the nights that I get home, or I have to drive late, or I'm on the road, I allow myself that time to get my rest back. So if I get home at 4 a.m., I'm really not going to sleep in past like 9 a.m. because I just don't have to have that much sleep. But I know that the moment that next night rolls around, I don't care how I feel, I'm back into my routine. I'm back into going to bed at the time that I want, and I'm back to waking up the time that I want. So you're always falling into plan. If I get home late, if something happens and I can't go to bed the time I want, I allow myself enough sleep to operate. For me, it's usually around 5 hours of sleep. And the next night, I automatically get back on schedule. Now, one thing I don't do is if I go to bed very, very late one night, and I get 5 hours of sleep, but let's say I need 8. I don't add 3 hours of sleep that I lacked onto the next night and try to get 11. I don't do that. That's not how I operate. And if you're a person who's struggling with getting the momentum and getting the ball rolling, I have something amazing for you. It's called the Cowboy Challenge. Down in the description below, I want you to accept the challenge, the Cowboy Challenge, to give you momentum, to give you resiliency, to give you mental toughness, to go on and chase life. And you can check that out. There's also a ton of free stuff in the description below. The second thing, I want a rock solid morning routine that never wavers, even if I have to get up multiple times with my kids throughout the night and I sleep terrible. So my nighttime routine should allow me to go to bed at a certain time. My calendar or my to-do list that I review the night before will pull me out of bed. Typically when I get out of bed, I spend some time in prayer to God. I do a devotional with my Bible. I do about 15 to 25 minutes of stretching, and then I go hit the day running. That's typically how I do it. Now, sometimes my baby son wakes up and he does that with me. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes it's Tyson by himself with his AirPods in, and sometimes it's little man laying on the floor right beside me in my closet when I'm stretching. So I'm very fluid with that, but I gotta have that morning routine dialed in, something to pull me out of bed, or else I'll just keep hitting the snooze button over and over and over and over and over again. And pretty soon I wake up again in reaction mode instead of proaction mode, and I lose the day. Lose the day, you lose the week, you lose the week, you lose the month, you lose the month, you lose the year. So don't do it. Don't hit snooze. Don't you dare do it. Dadgum, y'all. Look at that. I'm getting a ring in my head. Been wearing this cowboy. I'm sucking her down like I'm fixing to rope a calf. The next thing, which is my third, that's going to conquer my procrastination, right? I want a clear plan to overcome any form of procrastination. Build out the plan. That's our intention side. Our execution is our action side. I will be clear with my accountability partner that they are to kick me straight in the ass if I start drifting in any way. So I'll be clear with my accountability partner. Hey, today I sucked it up. I overslept. I was in reaction mode. I was mad all day because I felt like I was running around putting out one fire, running around putting out another fire, and I didn't get the job done. So I would be very clear with my accountability partner as to what to do to stay on track. And he's supposed to kick me in the butt. He or she. She. It's my wife. It's definitely a she. But she's tougher than most men, I'll promise you. She'll kick me right square in the butt and get me back on track in no time, I'm telling you. So I will continue to do the really hard things so my mental fortitude muscle will be strong enough to resist any form of procrastination. Guys, you want confidence, and it boils down to this. Do tough things. Do things you don't want to do. Put yourself out there. Try hard. Don't beat yourself up if you fail. Keep growing. Keep learning. Build that mental fortitude muscle by doing tough things, and pretty soon those tough things won't seem so tough anymore. Keep promises to yourself. You say you're going to wake up, wake up. You say you're going to do something, do something. You say you're going to go out and ride your horses, no matter what the weather is. Go out and ride your horses no matter what the weather is. Keep promises to yourself. Do the hard work, because through doing that, you build that muscle in your brain just like you would your arm that says, hey, I can do this. I can do this. And if you've done the work, if you've clearly laid out your plan, if you've been taking action, it's going to create beliefs, and your beliefs are going to give you confidence. They're going to help push you to that next level. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this training. It's been a sincere honor of mine to bring it to you. I spent a lot of time laying all this stuff out, a lot of time filming it and doing it, but I did it out of just service to you. I want to see cowboys go out there and kick butt and be secure in their hearts and their minds and their wallets and their pocketbooks. I'm proud of each and every one of you for sticking with me this long. So do me a favor, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I truly will read every single comment on this video. And guess what? If you want to watch another amazing video, check this one out right here. I know that it will serve your life. Take care. Adios.